Okay, in just a moment, I'll begin. I'm going to start the recording right now. This is being recorded. For those who are already here right now, please know that this is being recorded. So if you miss at any point part of the presentation, please know that you'll be able to watch the replay. The other thing I'd like to know is if you would hold back your questions until after I'm done with the presentation. Please do that. It'll help me get through the information a lot faster. I know that a lot of you have a really limited amount of time, so I want to get through not only the presentation, but I want to show you these trading strategies. Actually, I'm going to show you a total of 2 of them today. So I was going to just start off with the Hl30. We're going to start off with the Hl30. Many of you have already asked about that quite a bit because of videos I've been putting on my YouTube channel. So before I begin, though, we're going to be talking about getting started creating wealth in the Forex market. I think everybody knows that you can potentially make a lot of money, but a lot of people that experience challenges or difficulties and they've blown up trading accounts and they don't get the right education and the right help, they start to doubt it. They start to doubt, is it even possible that you could actually make a living? And I'm here to say that you honestly can. That's all I do is trade. I have been trading since 2000, late 2000, 2001. I actually started off trading futures, and then I found out about Forex shortly after, and I trade both ever since. Like I cannot stop trading. I love trading. You honestly can, but it really comes down to, finding the right people that will help you, that understand the mechanics and how the markets actually work, and they can share that information with you and get you to see it so that you can have a better idea of what's causing price to move the way it does, and you can make better trade decisions. I know that sounds really foreign because if you don't have a trading system in place, it may not make a whole lot of sense. But trust me, if you can get that trading system in your hands and then somebody opens your mind up to how the markets actually work, how price moves on a chart, why does it do what it does, it's going to make things a lot easier. That is, in my opinion, where a lot of people really miss their education. You need to start there with that information. So it is possible, no matter your income, experience, or size of your trading account. Obviously, you're going to have to grow the trading account to be able to trade more lots and earn more for, let's say, the same amount of work. I mean, a 100-point trade on a micro lot, is what it is. A mini lot, it's $1 a pip approximately. And then a standard, you're going to be earning about $10 a pip. So you can see that you need to build up that trading account. But before I begin, let me get some disclaimer information out of the way. My results are not typical. And I say that because I've been doing this for 20 plus years. And a lot of people don't have that kind of time to invest in this business. A lot of people are working full-time jobs and they're operating full-time businesses at the same time that they're trying to build a trading account. And it can become very, very overwhelming. When you're trying to balance all these different ideas and these different things, you think that trading is just a matter of just pressing the buy and sell when you see things moving in one particular direction, and it doesn't always work that way. Again, I have had the benefit of staying at home, at work, wherever I'm at, and I mean work by my work office and my home office. I work on trading all day long, even on the weekends. I take charts on my vacations. I'm always looking at the charts. There probably isn't too many days in the last 20 years that have gone by where I haven't looked at the charts at some point, even on the weekends. When I talk about making money, I'm not implying that you or anyone else will achieve the results that I'm achieving. It does take work. When I talk about my clients, please know that their results are not typical. They had to put in the time to actually learn these systems so that they can do what I'm going to show you that they do. All business entails risk. You will be required to work. It's not a hands-off trading system. It's not an EA that says, buy when the arrow's going up or when a moving average is crossing, anything like that. I see a lot of different kinds of EAs. I've seen a lot of stuff over the course of 20 years. And you probably won't score big on your first try using the strategies that I'm going to teach you here today, unless you take some time to learn these strategies. You need to understand why they work. You need to understand the precise setup that's involved in it to be able to confirm it. And then I say this all the time. With trading systems, you need to understand a trading system or the technique that you're using so well that you know when the ideal conditions are for it to work. And then you know when it's a more risky trade because the conditions aren't ideal. And you stay away from those riskier trades. You've got to learn how to let those go and only take the good picture-perfect setups. I use that phrase all the time, picture-perfect setups. Now, when I show you numbers later on, they're to illustrate the power and the potential of this trading system. And in no way, again, am I implying that the scenario I describe will happen to you or anyone else simply because you watched this webinar. Please be careful. I am going to share some strategies with you, but there's a lot more to it, right? I don't want anybody to take the information and then go, I know what he's doing, and then try it and then have it fail. I don't want you to get hurt. I insist that every time one of my coaching clients goes through my coaching course, that they watch the videos and ask me for questions. I want to be there if you need that assistance. Now, how to increase your learning experience. And everybody's been through this one, right? You want to make sure that you turn everything off. You want to turn off TikTok, iTunes, Facebook, whatever it is, silence your phone, close the door if you're in an office or in your bedroom or at work, and give yourself this time to discover a new trading strategy. I am going to share some trading strategies with you. One of them in particular is the HL30. So if you stay till the end, I'm going to give you this free report. This free report will show you just exactly what I'm going to show you here today, what it's all about, how it works, and how you can start implementing it. Now, I mentioned you can make 20, 60, or more pips. Just today, we earned 240 pips. Now, one of the trades happened to be one of the other strategies that I'm going to teach you, but there are many days where just the four majors, the euro dollar, dollar Swiss, pound dollar, dollar yen, we can execute an HL30 on just those four currency pairs, and they hit their 60 pip targets, and we earn 240 pips. This trade strategy, I kid you not, it is the easiest trading technique I've ever used. Now, if you've watched some of the videos on my YouTube channel, you know that I also use point and figure. I do teach point and figure in my coaching course, but it is an advanced strategy, and it's not necessary. You don't need to know how to use point and figure to make this one work. This is actually one of the first techniques I teach all of my coaching students, and I tell them all, watch the video in the 30-day shortcut module. It's a module that I put together for all of my new coaching clients. I say, watch the video, spend 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes, I guarantee you will be able to use this strategy, and you'll be able to use it effectively. Like, you will be making money on the same day that you decide to use it. And then the other strategy, I'm going to be showing you that here today. It's also included in that 30-day shortcut. Two of the easiest strategies. And then from that point on, you can add more of the advanced techniques and strategies, and then eventually you can graduate into like the point and figure. It's a vast trading course, and I share everything that I've ever done in it for the last 20 years. So who this webinar is for, if you're about to lose all of your money in your trading account, stop. You know you need to stop, or you're probably going to blow up your account. I blew up 2. I've known people that have blown up a lot more trading accounts than just 2. It's a horrible experience. It's not necessary. Wives get mad, husbands get mad, boyfriends, girlfriends, everybody gets mad when you lose money. You need to attend this webinar and watch this trading strategy that I'm going to teach you. If you're new to trading and you don't have a proven trading system yet, you need to attend this webinar and watch what I'm going to show you here with this HL30 strategy. If you're tired of trying to learn how to trade Forex from YouTube videos, which is a big mistake for a lot of people, it's a good start, but there's also the whole other side that some of these guys that teach on YouTube, they don't have the whole story themselves. Very often they're watching videos and they're remaking the videos, and they're getting a lot of money as a result of building their YouTube channels, and they're getting paid from YouTube. So you need to attend this webinar. If you've been trading for a few years and you're not seeing consistent results yet, you need to attend this webinar. If you're trying to replace your current source of income and become a full-time Forex day trader, you need to attend this webinar. And if you're losing money almost every day and you don't know how to earn the money back, you need to attend this webinar. I went through that. I lost half of my account when I first started trading, and it scared the hell out of me. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do. So please know, I am going to talk about my coaching program later on in this presentation. And out of your respect and your time, I will let you know just before I'm about to start talking about the trading course, so that you can leave if you're not interested in my trading course and you just want to watch the HL30 presentation and the other one, the other strategy that I'm going to teach you. Now, how this webinar is different, again, than others, I deliberately made my trading system as easy as possible to follow when I first started putting it together. I actually joined a chat room. So I bought a coaching program that was $2,000. They sent me some DVDs and some manuals. And I received it on a Friday, went through all the material, and Sunday, when the markets open for trading, I'm in California, so the markets open Forex on Sunday. I was excited. I thought I was going to make a lot of money. I realized by the time I got to Sunday, I still didn't have a trading plan. This company that sold me the information, they didn't tell me when to get in, when to get out. They didn't teach me any of that. It was just all basic textbook knowledge, the same stuff that I was getting from the internet. And, keep in mind, this is 2000, 2001 when I'm doing this. And the information was somewhat limited. I was finding more information in some cases about certain topics at the library. That's how, relatively new all this information was to hitting the markets, the internet, sorry. So I spent $2,000 and realized that I pretty much wasted my money because all the information was mostly free on the internet and in books that I could have got from the library. But when I first started developing these strategies, sticking to the rules was one of the biggest challenges for me. I was doing it out of total fear. Like I said, I lost half of my account balance. I'll show you some screenshots later. You're going to see my balance back then, and I lost half of it. And like I said, I was on a downward direction. Like I didn't know how I was going to change it. But that was as a result of me jumping into these different chat rooms and paying for different services and things like that. And it was just a mess. So what I learned as a result of going into these different chat rooms and working and trading with people that just didn't have enough experience to even own the chat room. Like they should have never even opened up the chat room. I see that today just in a different way. I see it, but it's very similar. I see that today on YouTube channels and Facebook. I know a lot of these guys that are pitching their courses and saying, watch me trade, watch me trade. You know that they're probably firing off a whole bunch of trades and then only showing you the ones that are winning trades or the ones that they close. They're not going to show you their loser trades. Not to mention, a lot of them don't have very much experience. So they can't teach you the other side of what they don't know. It's like the inexperience leading the inexperience. And I think that that's a terrible disservice. And that's what was happening to me. That's part of the reason why I was losing so much money. The other reason was that I simply just had unrealistic expectations when I jumped into it. I thought it was going to be relatively easy to do because I thought I was a pretty smart guy. I had owned my own businesses. I had always been in business for myself since I got out of high school. And I thought I was going to be able to figure it out. And that's not how it works in this business. You know, you need somebody who's been around who can show you. Now, I didn't want a system that was just going to work for a little while and then stop working. I saw that happen a lot. I remember back when I first started trading, Forex Factory was around and a few other websites. And I would see that people would start these threads. They would start, trying to get a following. And they were lying on for the most part. And people would question them, are you photoshopping this? Are you doing whatever? And then after a while, I got smart when I would find something that seemed a topic that seemed interesting, and I would go to the very last few pages of a thread, and I would see just how recent some of the updates were on that thread. And if it hadn't been posted in a while, I knew that people were just losing interest. If it was something that was going to work, people were going to continue to share it. So there are fad little systems that guys will figure out, women too, they'll figure it out. It's a little tiny trick or a hack. And then they share it like it's a trading system that will make them a lot of money. And it might make a little bit of money on a few short trades, but it's nothing sustainable. You can't build a business and a life expecting and telling your husband or your wife that you're going to be able to make enough money to replace everybody's income. You can't do that. Like, that's not what trading is about. You're up against the best traders, and they know this stuff. I wanted an easy to use, easy to verify step-by-step system of identifying a trade, then confirming the trade, and then executing the trade with the same profit and stop loss expectations every single time. That's what you're going to get out of this HL30 and the other technique that I'm going to teach you. Every time I get into that trade, I know precisely where my stop loss is. I know where my take profits are. I know what my trade plan is. There's no guessing. I have a checklist for all of my coaching clients. And when they use some of these strategies, specifically the HL30 that I'm going to show you today, they have a checklist so they can go through it and they don't make any mistakes when they use it. It's super easy. There's like 4 steps. That's it. You find the trade, you confirm the trade, execute the trade, and hold it to the profit targets. But there's little details inside there that you need to know. So I also wanted to make the system easy because I knew that I was going to be trading for the rest of my life. I knew that for sure. And I didn't want to get burned out in the process. I've had times where I had to take a little rest, but I'm still looking at charts. I'm still doing something with trading. And I also knew that one day I was probably going to teach my children how to use the trading system that I created. And I wanted them to be able to continue to trade the family account. Now, the trading strategies that I have that I'm going to share with you today, I can teach them to my 10-year-old grandson. He already watches me do it. I can teach them to him. He does it. And I know you can do it. And I don't mean any disrespect by saying a 10-year-old can do it. What I'm saying is that it's just a matter of letting go of the fear, opening your mind, and allowing me to show you these systems, these trading strategies that will make you money so that you can build that trading account and then start putting more effort and more time as you get more freedom in your life to advanced strategies and understanding some of the bigger moves, and you can really take advantage of trading. That's what happened to me. I found a few good strategies as a result of understanding how price action moves, what causes it, why it works the way it does. It was a trading system that I was able to duplicate and trade every single day, grow my trading account, earn back my losses, and then I really got busy and I really started understanding the deeper side of trading. And believe me, there is a deep side of understanding all of this when it comes to the markets. It really depends on how much effort you want to put into it. Now, I know exactly how it feels to buy lots of books, courses, chat rooms, trading, signal subscriptions, all of it, and have them fail miserably. So as I mentioned, back in 2000, I spent $2,000 on that trading course. Nothing but free education. That's all it consisted of. That's what most of the trading courses out there have. My trading course isn't like that. This is real trades, my trades, in many cases live trades, and they're all of my trades. It's like my history. This is as a result of all of my testing, all of my trades in 20 years in my trading course. going through the process of spending all that money trying to learn from a bunch of people that weren't educated and didn't have enough experience, but there's really no way to confirm, a lot of those people that are out there. A lot of them, if you go to their websites, and I do this even today, every once in a while somebody new will pop up. Some kid that looks like he's about 30 and he says he's been trading for, 20 years or something like that. So I'll go to his website and I see it all over the place. And then I go to the about section and then I say, okay, well, let's see what he has to say about his experience. And they'll usually say something like, well, I've got many, many, many years of trading experience. Let me say that if you have been doing this for a long time and you've lasted for a while, you're pretty proud of the fact that you've been, and you know how many years. You don't hesitate in telling somebody how many years and time. I even know approximately how many hours I've spent on my trading career. It's insane. I've been doing this for 20 plus years, and there's people that are better than me, and they've got twice the experience that I have. They've been in the business for twice the time. Many of them are my friends. I make friends with those individuals that know more than me, and you go to these websites and you see these people that you got to be really careful with those. So be very, very careful. What made the difference for me is that I stopped. I stopped going to the chat room. I remember there was a specific night I had lost so much money. I took another trade. These guys called out this trade in a chat room right after economic data. 1:30 in the morning California time. My family's asleep and I lose more, right? I'm trading standard lots like a fool. I'm putting 5 and 10 standard lots and I'm just losing money. And I was doing my own trades at the same time too. And they were calling out trades that were bad. So it just kept compounding the losses. And then one night I looked at my account. I just thought, how am I going to tell anybody in my family that this is happening to me? Like, what do I say? I don't even know how I'm going to get it back. And I know this works. I knew that my family knew of other traders that had been in the business a lot longer than me. And I didn't want them to give me their trading secrets. Some of them were floor traders. They weren't really doing the day trading that I was doing at home. So I went into the bathroom. I didn't want to wake up my family. I wanted to scream. It was raining. I didn't go outside. I went into the bathroom. I'm staring at myself, pointing at myself in the mirror, and I'm saying, don't you ever forget this moment. I was trying to make a connection with myself back then to where I am right now today. And every single time I think of that and I point my finger in the air, I can see myself looking at myself in the mirror today, like back then. And I thought, you're going to go through so much to figure this out, but I'm going to die trying. I mean, it was really going to kill me if I couldn't figure it out. That's how determined I was to do it. But most people don't get that opportunity. What they do is they quit, right? You can't keep going. You got to go back to the job. You got to put food on the table. I had sold a business prior to getting into trading. That's what made it a lot easier for me. They don't get the time to spend all of their time trying to figure out the markets. Most people have full-time jobs or operate businesses. I basically locked myself in my office and worked 7 days a week around the clock to build my trading system. No joke. I've estimated that it cost me over $300,000 in real losses to figure it all out. I made some money during that time. I wouldn't have been able to stay in this business, but it was crazy. It was a crazy experience. You don't have to go through that. You don't even need to go through it, even to lose a few more $1,000s. And then finally in 2005, I earned over $40,000 real money on my trading account. I had earned more than that before that day, but that one particular day, I never looked back. It was a turning point for me. I had a friend who wanted me to teach him how to trade. And when I earned this money, this was a screenshot of that day. I earned $40,755.08 on April 12th, 2005. A friend was asking me if I wanted to teach him, if I would teach him. And he wanted to learn what I was doing. He was a smart, educated guy. He was a doctor. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it because I thought it would distract me and it would start to change the amount of money that I was making on my trades. As a matter of fact, the trading strategy that you see there on those 4 trades, I teach that in my trading course. It's an amazing trading strategy. You want to learn how to do it. Anyway, so who this webinar is not for. It's not for people who want a hands-free trading system. Again, there's no EA, there's no indicator that says buy here and sell here. You're going to have to learn how to read the charts. You're going to have to learn how to read supply and demand. But you don't need to do that first. I'm going to teach you the Hl30 and the other trading strategy that I'm going to teach you this morning. I'm going to teach you how to use those so that you don't have to spend a lot of time learning somebody else's indicators. If you ever watch the charts or you watch a video and you're already used to using, let's say, RSI, or you're using the CCI, and then all of a sudden somebody else comes along and they go, oh, here's a trading system, I use the MACD, and then you switch it over to the MACD, but you really don't know how the MACD works. And then you've got to change everything up and spend some time looking at that, and then you make a mistake, you lose on the trade, and you think, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. You don't have to do that. I am going to give you one indicator to use because it's really easy, but the other trading system strategy doesn't require an indicator. I want you to make money right away. I want you to feel good about this. I want you to start replacing back the losses that you've sustained. And then I want you to start building your confidence, because it's that confidence that's going to bring you back and start learning those advanced strategies. I want you to know what I know. When I look at a chart, I don't look at a chart with just basic, simple candlestick patterns. You're going to see some of the examples later on when I talk more about the trading course. But I want you to be able to do what I'm doing if that's what you want. You want to become a true deep down trader that can do this forever and trade any market, stocks, crypto, or anything else, and you can take advantage of it for the rest of your life. This webinar is also not for people who think that they can turn $100 into $15,000 in 30 days. You see that happen every once in a while, not necessarily 100 into 15,000, but you see people get lucky with crypto or some other market, and everybody's just like flying high. They don't even know what it was that caused it or what did it. I saw just a couple of days ago, somebody was pretty happy about AMC because it popped up for the day and they made a little bit of money. It's down lower than where it was 2 days ago when they got in it. And they didn't know what to do. And now they're not so happy. It goes from a smile face to a sad face. This is also not for people who think that they shouldn't experience any trading losses. You're going to have a couple of losses, but you're not going to have the losses the way you've had them in the past if they wiped out your trading account. I sustain a loss every once in a while, but it is so easy for me to earn back that loss on the very next trade. It's just simply sticking to the plan. And I expect those. It's not that I go looking for them at all. I sit down when I take my trades and I do everything I possibly can before I get into the trade to make sure that, without a doubt, I might be wrong, but I am not in any doubt that this trade is a picture perfect trade opportunity for me. And then I execute. And that's what makes so many, my performance, just by following that outline, I teach that in my trading course, has changed the number of losses versus the number of winners for me dramatically. I sustain very few losing trades. This is also not for people who are not willing to invest in their trading and education. Now, I started trading in 2000, 2001. I began trading futures. I was trading the E-mini S&P. I'd wake up in the morning at 5 o'clock. A few months later, I found out about Forex. Forex.com. FXCM, their ads kept popping up on the internet, and whenever I do some searches, and I've been trading both ever since. And then I jumped into crypto. I started trading commodities. I trade stocks. I trade it all with the same system. I can teach you how to do that, but remember, you're going to start making and using these two strategies to trade Forex first. It's easy. It's easy. I want you to do the easy stuff first. I want you to build up that confidence. Now, I've suffered the same experiences that most new retail traders do. I've got so many different stories and the things that have happened to me, all the different businesses and the companies and the brokers that I've seen come and go. Some of them took my money. I never got it back. It was just crazy, crazy stories for all these years. I ultimately had to stop following all of the services that weren't working, and I had to figure it out on my own, meaning that I had to go and find the people that I knew were legitimate. They were legitimate traders. They really had put in 20, 30, 40 years of their career, their whole life, into this business, and those were the people that I insisted on studying from. I didn't go off and do what a lot of people do, run to YouTube. They didn't have YouTube back there, but had they had that, I probably would have been tempted to it, tempted to watch it, but I would have realized quickly that all that's going to do is just going to get me into more trouble. I want to win at this game. I want to master trading. I don't want to say that I'm a trader. I want to be the best and be humble about it. And I'm never going to stop working at being better at it. There's always more to learn. It took me about a year and a half to actually start seeing consistent results that I could actually live off of. That means sending money home, putting food on the table, paying the bills, and then still leaving enough money in my account to continuously experience growth and add more lots and contracts to my trades. I developed my entire trading system on my own. I started a small managed fund in 2005. As I started making money from my trading, family and friends wanted to know how I was doing it. So I started a private Yahoo instant message group. Remember those? It was kind of weird, but it worked. And that ultimately led to my first chat room. Now, that was back in 2007. What I did in the chat room is I let these people come in. They would pay me monthly. And family and friends were telling other family and friends, they're like, oh, who's this guy? I want to do it too. I want to see what he's doing. So they would come in and I would call out trades. It was just the easiest thing for me to do. I was basically trading my own account on the screen. They were watching me, and I would call out the trade, and then explain what it was that I was doing. So then with all the questions that I received, they said, you should put together a course. So I really didn't know how to make videos to put them on a, like Camtasia. I use Camtasia today. As a matter of fact, I'm also recording this at the same time with the screen recording process with this one. So I have a backup just in case. Anyway, the videos. So I started burning the videos into DVDs instead of putting them up on the website. It was just a little kind of complicated. It was weird back then. I don't remember exactly how I did it. I think I was doing it with Camtasia, and it helped, but it was kind of weird with the HTML code and all that stuff. I didn't know any of that. And I needed to be able to put that stuff up fast as soon as I was making these videos. So I made all the videos on DVD and shipped out these books of my trading courses, the material, the lessons and everything, and then the DVDs. And the people in the chat room were buying that up. Now everything, of course, is online. So I've been teaching and coaching and providing trading services since 2007, and I continue to this day. Now, you can use just one technique. I promise you can do this. You can use just one technique to earn a full-time living from trading the Forex. I have coaching clients that do it all the time. Guys get in and they get really excited. Many of them are semi-retired or retired. Well-educated individuals, and they go, you know what? This HL30 is so easy. I looked at the other stuff like point and figure and all that other stuff. Sounds great, seems great. Maybe 20 years ago, I probably would have wanted to take the time to do it. This is what they tell me. And not all of them. And then they say, but I'm sticking to the HL30. I'm making 600 to over 1,000 pips a month on average. It really depends on how often you use the technique and how many currency pairs you're trading. They're able to make a living off of it. Obviously, a lot of them get to the point, if they're a doctor or somebody else who's got some money in the account in the bank, or they're retired, they own a business, just a decent job where you're making enough money to be able to put money into your Forex account and not affect the family. You can start trading standard lots, or even half standard lots are good. I've got coaching clients that start off with, a half a standard lot. Instead of making $10 a pip, they're making $5 a pip, and they're still making really good money with this. You can do this. You can get massive results from trading and getting consistent results. So the secret is to use a simple trading system. That's what they tell me. This is so simple. Why would I even bother with the rest of the stuff? They start thinking, well, I'll get to the other advanced lessons later. But you end up making so much money from this one technique, this strategy I'm going to teach you today. It fires off almost every single day, meaning that you're going to see an opportunity almost every single day on almost every single currency pair. It's amazing. I'm going to show you current and in the past few days what it looks like. You can laugh at money worries if you follow this simple Forex plan. I promise you. You get into my coaching program and watch that first module, that 30-day shortcut, you're going to be able to do it in 15 minutes. I promise you. As a matter of fact, I tell anybody that if they get into the coaching course, they watch it, and then they feel a little bit uncertain, tell me. We're going to get on a call, just me and you, or whoever that individual is. If they feel uncertain, I give them a 1 hour. It doesn't even take an hour, but I give them a full 1 hour to ask all the questions they want about that one strategy. And I'm going to make sure that by the time we're done with that call, we record it on Zoom so that you can have it and watch the replay. Before we get off that call, you're going to be able to execute those trades with confidence, and you're going to know that it works. So here's what you need. Number one, a simple strategy that I call the HL30 trade. I'll explain why I call it the HL30 and everything. Number two, a control method for increasing the number of winning trades and reducing, the number of losing trades. This was a very important component to my trading and turning it around because I was losing constantly. So I needed to figure out how to eliminate the waste, like I was running a business. There was things that weren't working. I was using indicators that didn't work. I needed to understand where I could start cutting and trimming some of the fat. I also implemented strategies. I did hire a professional psychologist that worked with traders, and she helped me get through the issues that I was going through that were just psychological. I share all of those details and how I went through that. Sustaining a $300,000 worth of losses and then turning it around and coming back and going above where I started and then starting to make money. You've got to have your mindset right. You really have to not be afraid after a while. But what helped was that the system, the trading strategy that I was using, I swear I knew it could work. I knew it was working. But the hardest part was just believing in it. I was testing it and then doing it. And then yet I still kind of doubted, but it was because of the losses. So if you're going through that, I know exactly what it feels like. But I have strategies that will teach you exactly how to solve those problems. Number 3, using realistic goals that encourage better performance and increase confidence. These are part of creating a plan and then optimizing that plan. I know it seems a little vague here, but inside of the trading course, I have a trading psychology section, and all of this makes perfect sense. And they're actionable steps. They're just not like theory from a book. This is the stuff that I went through. This is how I fixed my problem. So the HL30, this strategy is best used for day trading. I don't use the HL30 to swing trade. That's the first thing I want to let you know. It's just for day trading, but it's easy. Trust me, it's easy. The best results are on the 30-minute time frame. I started off using it on the 1-hour time frame. I tested it with the 15. The 30-minute was the best one. I've had coaching clients year after year try it on a different time frame, and they get different results, and then they go right back to the 30-minute because it's just easy if you just stick to it. Trust me, if you just stick to it. There's 4 basic candle patterns and only 1 indicator for the HL30. Again, I'm going to teach you a second strategy that's just as easy, if not easier than this one. And it doesn't require an indicator. You need to apply this to more than just one currency pair. So we're going to start off with the Hl30 system because it's not only easy to use, but if used correctly, it can result in 20, 40, 80, even more than 100 pips right away in the first few hours of a new trading day. Now, I call it the Hl30 because as I was putting this together, it's a different version of the Tech 1 trade. The Tech 1 trade is the second system, the second strategy that I put together. And the Tech 1 trade is taught in my trading course. The Tech 1 trade can be used on any time frame, but I started using the Tech 1 trade on the after hours, and I started noticing different things overnight. So what I started doing with the 30-minute chart was identifying the previous day's high and low. That's why I use the H and the L. And then the 30 is just because it's exclusive to the 30-minute time frame. If you used it on any other time frame, I cannot tell you what kind of results you're going to get because I only use it and created it for the 30-minute time frame. I tested it with the others. It didn't work for me that well. HL30, high and low of the previous day, 30-minute chart, period. That's it. You can make 20, 60, 100 pips, 240 pips in a single day. I'm not kidding. That's not double counting. It's what you're going to end up with effectively. So let's get started. So I'm going to show you some charts, some slides, walk you through some of the details, and then I'm going to show you some live trades that we took today, yesterday, the day before, me and my coaching clients. So this is the pound dollar. You can see that the date on there, that's a real date. That's 2014. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been using the HL30 for 19 years. So what I have, that red line right there that goes up and down from top to bottom, that is the separation between the previous day and the start of the new day. You have to be able to identify that. You have to be able to do it. Now, Metatrader, I believe if you use the settings correctly, you can put that period separator in there, but you need to be paying attention to this one thing. This is the tip, and I talk about this in the trading course. These are some of the tips that some of these other guys won't teach you, right? I don't talk about this on my YouTube channel. I talk about it to the people who are attending who really want to know. This one tip, if you use this strategy, if you use the period separator on your MT4 and we go through daylight savings time, the change, you got to be careful. What happened to me when I was testing this out was that the daylight savings time had occurred and it didn't hit my broker. So I was already aware of the daylight savings time. I knew when the new day started, but my broker's server had not updated. So it was showing me a 1-hour time difference and my HL30s started to fail. So be very, very careful. Make sure that your broker's time and the setting and everything is according to what you'd expect for the daylight savings time, period. Or you might see some failed trades. Now, let's talk about the trade. So the candle patterns, there's 4 basic candle patterns. I have them included with the checklist in the module, the 30-day shortcut, so you can print them off, or you can just keep them on your screen, and along with the checklist, which are the 4 rules that I talked about. So once you identify the candlestick pattern, you need to look at the CCI indicator, and the CCI indicator cannot show any divergence whatsoever. What I want you to know on that circle there, where you see that was actually where the signal was generated, the entry isn't always right after the rollover. Sometimes I don't get any entry until non-farm payrolls the following day. So the 5 o'clock rollover is what they call it. It's 5 o'clock Eastern time. So let's say it's Thursday, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern, starts the new day. I get no HL30s and it'll move around sideways. It depends. Every non-farm payrolls event is different, but there have been many non-farm payrolls where it just kind of travels inside of a really tight range of consolidation because the market's not going to commit to anything. They're waiting for the results in some cases. So what happens is it won't go and trigger the actual entry. That's the problem. And I have to wait. And then the reaction in non-farm payrolls then starts to cause price to move around, which then triggers the first step in confirming the HL30 so that I can get a signal. So keep that in mind. The HL30 does not always develop right after the start of a new day. Sometimes it can, like in the first hour. Sometimes it's in the first 30 minutes of the start of the new day. And then other times you'll wait a little while longer. So what you're going to do is if you're sleeping, let's say you got a different time zone, you're sleeping, and you don't get a signal right after a few hours after the rollover, you can set alerts. There's indicators that you can put on your charts, or you can use a chart. I have different chart programs inside of my trading course. They're resources, and they're free, and they'll actually give you an alert that will obviously give you an audio alert, on your computer or your cell phone. So if you're sleeping or you're out to dinner, you're going to get a notification that you actually have the candle pattern and it pops up. Now, Metatrader, I don't know about all their little EAs and plugins and things like that. I would stick with this one robust trading platform that I would recommend. Chart package. It's free. It's easy to use. You can do it, set it up to your phone, you'll get instant notifications, and it works perfectly. To give you a notification on these particular candle patterns so you're not missing them. So the entry on this one was to go long. It was off of the short, it was off of the support level. So it wasn't going to be a short, I'm sorry. It was going to be an opportunity to go long and buy at 1.6542. Now again, at that time, before I get into the trade, at the rollover, I already know what the lowest point for the previous day. We were looking at the low for the previous day, not the high, because of where price closed at that time. So I know what the very lowest point is before the close. I'm already watching it. I'm waiting for it. And then I know, based on the low of the previous day, what that reading was for the CCI. So when I get a candle pattern and an entry to go long, the CCI has to be printing a higher reading than the previous day's low CCI reading. It's critical. There cannot be any divergence. So sometimes I'll get a signal, but the CCI isn't lining up right. It's still giving me divergence. So then I'll have to wait for another signal, and that could happen 30 minutes to 4 hours later. It really depends. Every one of them is going to be a little bit different. And then eventually it's going to wiggle around enough where the CCI will catch up, and then it'll give me a positive reading or a higher reading than the previous day's low. That's what I'm looking for. So in this case, it gave me a reading and an opportunity and a signal that was confirmed, check one, right down the list, at 1.6542. Now we use a 20 pip target, a 20 pip stop. You can see where the stop is. If I get in at 42, my stop's going to be at 22. If I get in at 42, my first target's going to be 62. If it hits the first target, then I can trade it to an additional 20 points beyond that first target. Now, some people try to hold it for longer. If you hold it for longer and you don't follow these take profit levels, you're going to get different results. I do this because I've tested this and I've traded this method for 19 plus years. So I know that it's likely, if it's going to trend, it's likely to go, because I can show you so many different examples where price only went up to the first target and then that was it. It went like 1 or 2 pips beyond that and that was it. It was just the way that trading day was going to go. And then there's other days where it hits the first target and then it goes up and hits the second target, goes up a pip or two above that, and then it stops and it doesn't go any higher. In this case, it went further. Now I teach you with the advanced strategies how to take more of this trade and how to know that it's actually going to continue to go higher. We'll talk about that in another presentation or in the trading course. So this is what we do. I execute 2 orders at the time I get into that trade. So very often one of the first questions I get is, well, Joseph, I'm just using a standard lot. One standard lot is all I can afford. Cut the standard lot in half, because you're going to take advantage of a trade like this and it's going to end up earning you 60 pips total. When I open up 2 lots, if we open up 2 orders, 2 lots at 1.6542, I close the first one at 62. 42 to 62, that's 20 pips. Close that trade, it's done. At that time, when it hits the first target, I then change the stop loss on the second open order to a break-even stop. So the stop loss on that second open order, it goes from 22 you can see the 1.6522, which is where the stop loss is. I move it back up to just above 42, which is where I got in, because I want to protect the profits on that first trade of 20 pips. I don't want to give it back. If it doesn't go to the second target, I want to protect the profits. I know it's always going to go to the first target if you analyze and correctly identify the right entry with no divergence in the indicator. So what's going to happen here is, again, I closed the first trade, the first open order at 62. Once it hits 62, then I change the break-even stop. I don't change the break-even stop until it hits that first target. So then I have the second open order, and that second open order will bounce around a little bit. Sometimes it'll go straight to it. It'll go straight to the second target. And sometimes it'll do what it did today. It bounced, pulled back down to the fulcrum. You can see the fulcrum was there at 1.6559. And then it held and bounced and went back up. At least the candle bodies did. And then it went back up, hit 82. So effectively what we're earning is 20 pips on the first trade and 40 pips on the second trade. From the entry of 1.6542 to the final target at 1.6582, that's 40 pips. So effectively, this trade pays me 60 pips or $600 when I trade standard lots, or $60 if you're trading mini lots, earning $1 a pip. Nothing wrong with that. You're still going to build your account. Let's take a look at another one. So this is the euro dollar, and we're going in the opposite direction. We're going to short this. So again, those white lines right there, from going from top to bottom, that identifies the end of one day, start of the new day. You can see where that long blue line is that reads entry to sell at 1.3142. That's my signal. The CCI was printing a lower reading than the CCI was printing on the spike high of the previous day. Again, if it was a higher reading, it would be divergence. I would have to cancel. I would have to wait until I got a different reading. So you can see what it does here at this point. Bounces. This is a little bit different, right? This one bounces around for a little while, goes back up and tests the resistance area, but not by much. It wasn't very, we weren't negative very much. Again, we're only using a 20 pip stop, 20 pip target. And then, of course, when it hits the first target, we go to the second target. Now remember, if it goes beyond the second target, I teach you how to be able to capitalize on that and get more of the trade. Because what happens is, as time goes on, if it's going to be one of those days, let's say we get into the trade during the Asian session or early London session, but there's going to be a major economic announcement during the New York session. As time goes on, and if it's a big announcement that could catch the market off guard, right? The deviation is huge from what the market was expecting to what the economic data, the report was. It could create a really big dramatic move that we want to get as much money as we possibly can on. The reason I say this is watch. This is what happened later. As we approached the New York session, that was economic data. So it caused price to hit my first target. I closed it out. So the first target was 1.3127. I'm sorry, 1.3127. Yeah. I got in at 1.3147. I was selling it. Closed my first trade order. Had the second trade order with a target of 1.3107, which was my target. But that was economic data. So when I say if you're hands-on, I say this all the time. If you're hands-on, that means you're sitting at your desk when you're watching something like this unfold, and you set a price alert, let's say 5 pips before that second target, and you know that there's economic data that morning. It's like 30 minutes away. Well, if I was you, because this happens very, very often, we're already trading it in the right direction anyway. So what I do is, and I trade full time, right? So I get the benefit of doing that. I know a lot of people can't, and it's okay. Even if you don't, you still make 60 pips on this trade. I still made $600 on this trade if I only traded it to the second target. But I was there sitting there at my desk, and I knew what was likely to happen. I could see all the pressure to the downside, and I simply took my take profit level off and let it run. And I was able to close it for much, much further, like another 20, 30, 40 pips in some cases. It really depends. Sometimes non-farm payrolls will do that. But sometimes non-farm payrolls will also just create a simple HL30, and then you just get a 20 pip trade. That's all it does sometimes. You've probably seen it many times when you try to trade non-farm payrolls if you've traded for a while, and it just kind of doesn't break out of that little range. So let's take a look at another one. Now, the one that I just showed you was the euro dollar to the downside. Earned 60 pips there, right? $600. This was the same day in the opposite direction on the dollar Swiss. You can see the date there, 2014. So this time I was going long. I bought at 0.9178. First target was 0.9198. My second target was at 18, 0.9218. Let's see what happens. That was, again, the reaction of non-farm payrolls, and it ran right into that 28 level. And I was able to take more than that, again, because I was hands-on. If you're not, again, $600 on a trade like this, if you're trading standard lots, or $60. So within those two trades, there was nothing to worry about. The stop loss never really came into question. And in most cases, with these HL30s, that is the situation. It very rarely tests the stop loss. Occasionally, it'll get close. But that can be due to, let's say, another economic announcement that the market's anticipating, and it'll wiggle around a little bit. But you won't get stopped out if you do this right. On this day, again, between these two trades, I'm trading standard lots, so I'm earning 6 and 6. I'm making $1,200 so far on these two trades. If you're trading mini lots, you're earning $120 so far. Now, this is another opportunity. This was an HL30, and this was after the ECB statement. The reason why I want to show you this is to show you how it works even with big economic data. Matter of fact, there was FOMC just yesterday, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to show you that in one of the charts, and I'll show you the HL30 that worked as a result of that. And it looked pretty much like this. This is what it does. So what if you were trading 4 different currency pairs at the same time? As I mentioned, and I have this case study on my website. I have it all over the place because I think it's important. It happens very, very, very often. There are so many days out of the months that we see the HL30 set up on a single day on all 4 of the majors, and we earn 240 pips. 240 pips in a single day. That's $2,400 in one day if you're trading standard lots, or $240 if you're trading mini lots. You can do this. You can do this. So let me give you a case study that my coaching clients and I did. We did this a couple years ago. We took 1 week and we traded every HL30 that we saw, and this happened to be a slow week for the HL30. Very often we get HL30s and we can trade it off the high, and then later on in the day we can trade it off a support, back up and make 60 pips in the same day on the same pair. We can't always do that, but there are times when it does that, when it's really, really active. This happened to be a relatively slow week, but let me show you what happened. So this is the 4, I'm going to show you 4 slides. Each one of them is a different currency pair of the majors: euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, I think dollar yen, and then dollar Swiss. This is the last one. So each one of those dotted lines starts or separates each day. So we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On the first day, we had one trade. It paid. Second day, we had another trade. Third day on Wednesday, Thursday, we didn't have a trade, an HL30. And then on Friday, we got an HL30. Okay, that's one currency pair. That's for the whole week. Very often, we have other weeks where we get like twice as many HL30s on one single currency pair. So you get plenty and plenty of opportunities. Like, trust me, I'll show you. I'm going to show you my charts, just recent, and what's been going on over the past couple of weeks. This is another one. You can see that there was fewer here. So this one gave us an HL30 on Monday and gave us an HL30 on Thursday. Now, there was a lot of activity in there. Again, the other techniques that I trade, like the Tech 1 trade, I told you a Tech 1 trade was a split off version of, the HL30 was a split off of the Tech 1 trade. The Tech 1 trade isn't any more complicated. It just takes a little bit more understanding of what you're doing, but you make bigger profits. And the Tech 1 trade worked at least 4 or 5 different times on this currency pair, but we're not talking about the HL30. The Tech 1 trade. I'm just explaining that once you get the hang of the HL30, you can learn some of these advanced strategies and make even more money on them. Here's another one. This was the dollar yen. We only got 2, and this was 2 in one day on the same day. So on Wednesday, we had an HL30 to short it, hit its first target, and then we had an HL30 to buy it off of the previous day's low, and we were able to trade it right back up for another 20 pips. That was it. And then I didn't get any other HL30s. There were some continuation breakout trades. The continuation breakout trade is actually the first technique that I developed. That one pays a lot of money. It uses 2 indicators and the Bollinger Bands, and I teach you precisely how to do it. But it's more advanced. Don't worry about that. You're going to have access to it. That one put me in the path of that breakout on Thursday, and I was able to trade the continuation breakout trade all the way down that chart through Friday. That one pays a lot of money. And then here, the final one is the dollar Swiss. So we had an HL30 on Monday, and that one failed. That one failed. All it did was came like, I think it was 0.8 of a point away from hitting that target, the 20 pip target. That's it. So I know on the very next trade, I'm going to earn back my loss. I'm not afraid of it. So I get in on Tuesday, short it there. It hits all the targets. Does the same thing on Wednesday. Does the same thing on Thursday. Hits the targets on Friday again. Let's take a look at the results. Again, this was a slow week. My Coaching clients did this with me. We had 13 trades in 5 days on 4 different currency pairs. Only one of them failed. That's pretty typical. Very often we get more trades, and it doesn't necessarily increase the number of failed trades. I teach you how to identify. Remember in the beginning I said, learn a strategy so well that you can identify the ideal conditions to use that strategy, and then when it's not so ideal, so you can stay away from not using that trade. You know it's not likely to work, and you're trading a higher risk trade if you go ahead and try it anyway. I teach you how to identify the conditions so that you only trade when the conditions are ideal. So you can eliminate almost all of your trades on the Hl30 and all of them, all of the systems and the strategies that I teach. Each trade pays or earns approximately 20 pips. That's 240 pips earned in 5 days just using the Hl30. Now I mentioned there are days when we make 240 pips in a single day because there's so many Hl30s in there. The reason that it didn't hit or make any more than 250 pips in a week, 240, is that it didn't go to the second target on all of them. I'm going to show you some trades. The dollar Swiss for the last few days, today it didn't give me an Hl30, but the last 4 or 5 days, it's given me an Hl30 almost every single day, and it's hit all targets, both targets, paying 60 pips on each one of them. And it just does it over and over and over again, and then it'll just go into a tight range of consolidation, and I don't trade the Hl30 because there's no reason to do it. At $10 a pip, standard lot size, that's approximately $2,300 to $2,400 for the week on a slow week. You can do this. Now, let's take a look at a few recent live trades. What I'm going to do, I am recording this with Camtasia in addition to Zoom. So for backup, that happens to me every once in a while. I'm going to switch to my live charts. So if you give me just a moment, if the screen goes blank, you're still going to hear my voice, but I'm going to switch over to my live charts. Okay, let me get the arrow here, and you should be able to see my screen with the euro dollar. So you should be able to see the euro dollar right now. I'm going to show you the Hl30 for today. This starts back over here. Actually, I'm going to tighten this up so you can see right up here. So you can see this dotted line right here again separates the start of the new day. And the second red candle there is my signal. It doesn't have to be a second. Sometimes it can be one complete candle. In order to complete that pattern, it was the 2 candles here that gave me an entry at 1.6112. 1.6112 to short this. I'm trading it off of the previous day's high. There on that downward arrow, that's my entry on the close of that candle. Again, a 20 pip target, and if it hits the first 20 pip target, I can trade it to a second 20 pip target. Here's my stop, right up there at 1.1632. It never came into question. These are so easy to do. I live in California. Anybody that lives in the United States can do this at the end of the night, in the evening. It's really easy. So if this sets up, let's say the 5 o'clock rollover is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for me. So that's 5 o'clock New York time, right? It could be 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You can still get into these trades and go to bed. Very often they set up like this. Sometimes they'll just go sideways, and then you get them as you wake up during the New York session. If it's a slow day where it's just kind of going in consolidation, you can see the overnight session right here. This is the start of the new day, right? Starts to go sideways. You get the signal. This was yesterday's. You get the signal, and then it runs into the target. This was FOMC yesterday. FOMC drove price right into that target. So again, I short it, and I just basically set it and forget it. I set my alerts so that it'll wake me just a few pips before it hits that final target so that I can squeeze out a little bit more of this trade. If not, that's okay too. It'll close by itself where it's supposed to. Again, we don't change the stop until it hits the first target. This paid 60 pips. Let me take a look at, here's one on the dollar yen today. This was the dollar yen. This is actually after the rollover. So this is the dollar yen. I shorted this one. You can see here, previous day's high, that green resistance line in there. It goes up a little bit higher. It's okay if it does. It just can't exceed a specific range. And then it gives me the reversal candle right here. That's my entry at 114.10. So my first 20 pip target is 90. The final target is 70. There's my stop up there at 30. So this spike actually happened before I got into the trade. Here's where it closed, that candle. On the close of that candle is when I get into the trade. And then I short it and it just keeps going. Super easy. It is so easy. I promise you, you can do this. Let me show you the pound dollar today. So I'm going to tighten this one up. I'm going to bring the pound dollar in here. Actually, let me show you the dollar Swiss. So the dollar Swiss, I said I didn't get one, but it was the day before. So this one hit. You can see it hit both targets. I'm buying it here off of support. It runs into both targets. This is the short. It moves. This one, it only hit the first target. I'm sorry. It hit the first target. Didn't quite hit the second target. The day before that, it hit both targets on the way down. And then I get this one here, and I'm buying it off of support. And this one hits both targets. So there's $600 there, $600 there, $600 here, and then $20 or $200 there if I'm trading standard lots. And then it goes sideways, and I don't have a HL30 on that one. So let me go back to the pound dollar. So the pound dollar over here, I'm going to teach you another strategy, by the way. The pound dollar gives me, let me see if I can double click on this, gives me an HL30 right here. This is my HL30. So you can see how relatively quick after the rollover, start of the new day, you get a trade. It's not always precisely at the same time. But it gives me the reversal candle right there with an entry of 1.3685. I got my stop up here at 0.5. My first target's 65. My final target's going to be 45. And it works. Real smooth, real easy. I lock in the profits here at this point. When I take profits at the first target, I'm profitable on the trade. There's no way that I can lose from that point on because I changed that stop loss. I put it at a break-even stop. So if price goes back up and doesn't hit the second target, it just closes me out there with zero, maybe even a half a pip. But I don't lose anything, and I protect the profits there on the first target. That's the point. You're supposed to protect your profits when you hit that first target, period. You don't do anything else. Do not deviate from this plan, and you'll make money just like this. Now, you'll see that there's a second trade right here with that check mark. This is my Good Morning London strategy. This is a second technique that I'm going to teach you. Now, I have more videos in my coaching course that teach you how to avoid the Good Morning London strategies that fail. Occasionally, you're going to get a failed trade with this strategy. Again, because you need to be able to assess the conditions and the trading environment, looking at the closing prices, daily charts, things like that. You need to be able to assess the conditions so that you can say, okay, tomorrow does not look like a good day to use the Good Morning London strategy or the HL30, so don't. I teach you precisely how to do that. You can do this. I also send out updates and things like that so that way everybody gets informed, and I do all of these updates on real-time trades that everybody's trading every day anyway, so they can learn from these experiences continuously. It's not just like you're going to be using and looking at old data. That's not what's in my trading course. I'm always updating my trading course. I'm making videos like this all the time. This Good Morning London strategy is a strategy that I started using when I was trading futures. So it's a breakout. Let me teach it to you. You don't need the CCI. In this case, we're not going to use the CCI to trade the breakout. But what you have to do, you have to have the ability to trade at the London Open. And that can be tough for some people. For me, that's at midnight in California. For people living on the East Coast, like New York or Florida, that's 3 o'clock in the morning, and a lot of them cannot wake up in the morning to do that. So they would just trade the HL30. This is part of the reason why I said earlier that I have many coaching students that make a full-time living from just using the HL30. They don't want to do anything else because it's just too easy. They take these trades, they go to bed, they wake up, they have $600 or more. Many of them are using more than just one standard lot on every trade like this. Some are using 4 and 5 standard lots, the equivalent of 8 total on their trades. And they're taking 2, 3, and 4 trades at different times with the different currency pairs. You can work up to these levels, but they're making a lot of money, and it's really easy. They don't want to do anything else. But this is another opportunity. If you can trade the London Open, this is the London Open. That's the candle. So what we do is I identify that on a 30-minute chart. And when I see a break in either direction, up or down, again, you want to learn how to read a chart like I was talking about earlier. I mentioned that I also use point and figure. Point and figure can actually make this thing a lot more effective. But I don't want to confuse you with that because you can use it simply the way I'm going to describe it. But each one of these, when you gain more insight as to how and why the markets and price moves, it makes it easier for you to be able to detect and to see the ideal conditions for it to work so that you can avoid when it's not going to work because it's just not going to go anywhere. You can see it. That supply and demand battle using volume and things like that. We're not even talking about those things yet. You don't need those things to make money. Not at first. You need those things to be able to grow your account in a big way and stay in this business and make it exciting and make it fun. You want to know all of these details about how the markets really work, not these little simple tricks and hacks that you can pick up from YouTube. Be careful. I'm not saying that all of them are bad. I am not. I know that some of them are still really trying, but like I said before, very often I kind of compare it with what I see on those videos. It's inexperienced people teaching inexperienced people, and that is a disservice in my mind. So this HL30, I simply wait for the next candle to open up. It doesn't do anything, right? This one stays kind of right inside of that range. And then when I finally get a break by 1 pip lower than that low of that first 30-minute bar, that's when I get in that direction. And I trade it to a 20 pip target. When it hits that first 20 pip target, I trade it to a second 20 pip target in case the trend continues. That's exactly how this one unfolded today. It's just that easy. You don't have to do anything else. Sometimes it'll hit the first target and won't hit the second target. Sometimes it'll hit both targets and go a lot lower. Remember, there are ways I teach you how to read the charts so that you can determine if this kind of activity is even likely to happen. So you can decide if you want to hold on to these trades longer. That's the key to the whole thing. That's the Good Morning London strategy. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. Now I want to personally help you implement this into your daily trading routine. Now this is the end of the training part. I'm going to show you a few other slides and some charts in probably about 5 minutes or so. But I'm going to start talking about my coaching program. So please know that from this point on, I'm going to be talking primarily about my coaching course. So this would be the time to leave if you don't want to hear any of that information. But if you're interested in my coaching, I'm going to be sharing with you all of the details. I'm also going to show you the inside of the trading course. And I'm going to give you some details about what I mean when I talk about advanced trading strategies. You're probably wondering, what exactly do you get with the advanced trading strategies? Now, you've been watching this webinar with me now because you know that you need a solid, robust trading system that will allow you to safely trade in all market conditions. And you're dead certain that you can do this. I know you can do this. You know that you can succeed as a trader and live from your trading efforts. You just need some guidance from somebody who knows how to do this and can help you avoid making mistakes. And you also know that you want the certainty of using a proven trading system that will work, so that when you put on a trade, you will experience a higher chance of winning on your trade. My ultimate goal is to provide each of my coaching students the opportunity to earn well over 10,000 pips per year, every single year, minimum. And I work with each of my students until they realize that goal. So this is really the way to reach your goals and to achieve your dreams in this business. What would your life be like if you traded with me this whole year and if you earned 30,047 pips? That's what we've earned so far this year with using this trading system. You know how many lots you execute on your trades. What would 30,000 pips net for the whole year up to this point mean to you? And that's why I created the Real Deal Traders course. You can start trading Forex in 15 minutes. It's that simple and effective. As I mentioned at the beginning, you're going to learn the HL30 and the Good Morning London strategy. Each one of them only takes 15 minutes. The HL30 is the most powerful trading strategy ever for beginners, especially for beginners. You can learn how to do it in 15 minutes. You're also going to learn how to trade like a pro with over 75 different video lessons inside of this module. I'm going to show you. It's massive. It's my life's work. This is the only system you'll ever need for success trading Forex. Getting started now, making big profits with these easy strategies. So if you'd like to achieve this with me, we can do it together. It's the same system built on my experience since I started trading back in 2000 or 2001. Forex Day Trading Academy is the leading Forex education site providing practical online trading courses and live coaching to traders worldwide. I do live coaching every week with all of my students. If you're looking for an honest approach to Forex trading, the best resources, and an unrivaled community of like-minded traders, then ForexDayTradingAcademy.com may be the right place for you. It's a very unique opportunity for you, and it's like nothing you've ever seen before. And I take this coaching program very seriously. This is an in-depth training that's designed to help you succeed. You could literally be 15 to 20 minutes away from doubling or even tripling your account right now. As a matter of fact, I'm so confident that you can learn my top 2 trading strategies in 15 to 20 minutes each one of them, and start making trades the same day. And if for whatever reason you can't, you still need some assistance, I will personally coach you for 1 hour in a private one-on-one session for free. We'll record it and we'll do it all on Zoom. So if you want to start earning well over 10,000 pips per year and closing each month with profits that you can count on and live off of, then this is what you want. So here's how it works. The Real Deal Traders course. It all starts with that 30-day shortcut program that I mentioned in the beginning. These 2 primary strategies, the HL30 and the London Breakout strategy, which is what I call the Good Morning London strategy, Each one of them takes 15 to 20 minutes to learn. I promise you, that's all that's required. From that point on, you're just going to work on improving your ability to read the conditions so that you can minimize losses. Many of my coaching clients earn a full-time living from only trading one or both of these two strategies. They don't even get into the advanced techniques. I've created this program to get you fast results. Not results in 7 weeks from now, not results in 30 days from now, but I will get you results on the first day you trade with this system. I know that that's a big promise, and I've been able to make it happen for thousands of coaching students since 2007. During the first 30 days, you will have a bulletproof trading system using the easiest trading strategies ever. And as you increase your confidence and your trading account grows, I will be teaching you my advanced techniques that will help you earn even more profits. This is a complete coaching program that absolutely will get you results. And you get live weekly coaching calls from me personally for life. All of this is a lifetime opportunity for you to get into this program. You don't pay monthly or anything like that. The live coaching calls are every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and all of them are recorded, and then I put them inside the members area. Just in case you miss them, you can watch the replays anytime you want. So what exactly do you get with this 30-day shortcut program? So let's take a look inside of the members area. Now, if you give me a moment, I'm going to switch over my screen. So if you see a blank screen, or if it goes back to the title screen, please know I'm still here. I'm just pulling up the inside of the trading course. So here we are inside of the trading course. So let me quickly walk you through what you're going to get here. So initially, my website started off and it read 10 different modules, but you can see I keep increasing it. I keep adding more to make it easy. I'm in contact with all of my coaching clients to make sure that I'm always looking for opportunities to make it a lot easier. For example, down here, you can see the last module I added was Joseph's day trading tips. I'm also going to be adding Joseph's swing trading tips so that you can apply a lot of these strategies and these methods to different time frames depending on your availability, the amount of time you have to trade and where you're located too. So the 30-day shortcut in this module right here, that's where you're going to start. You watch this welcome video. It's going to walk you through the details of where to start. That way you know exactly what to do. So for 30 days, you could do nothing but just use those two trading strategies, learn those, and make money. And very often, as I said, most people will start looking into these other areas, these advanced modules, but very often they're just really comfortable with the money that they're making, and they stick here. Now, the ones that want to be a little more aggressive, it's all available to you. Again, these are all my trading strategies. This is the work and the study and everything, the education that I've learned and that I've gathered from all of the masters in trading that I've learned from as well. So you can see here, I have the London Breakout strategy, which has now been renamed the Good Morning London strategy. It's also available, again, inside of the 30-day shortcut, but I go into more depth if you want to take advantage of this one here so that you can also use it for futures. I mentioned that it was a different version of how I was trading futures when I first started trading. That's what I was doing in the first 30 minutes. I was trading a breakout of the first 30-minute bar. Other people have different strategies. Some people will use a 5-minute bar. Other people will use a 15-minute bar. It really depends. I use a 30, and it's always worked really, really well. And again, 19 plus years of using these strategies, again, that it works. I know it works. I've got the data. I see when it doesn't work and why it doesn't work, and then I see when it works and what made it work. The continuation breakout trade, this is the one that I talked about where you might remember where I was showing you the pound dollar, and it broke out to the downside, and it just kept going. Now, there are ways to be able to see that, obviously, much deeper with more confidence than just simply looking for an Hl30 pattern, right? I mean, not everybody's going to be using the Hl30. And it wasn't like, the traders from 100 years ago were using the Hl30. They were using similar patterns because they were trading, and what I'm doing is trading off of the previous day's high and low. I'm trading off of support and resistance. There are ways to make that opportunity to trade off of support and resistance appear much bigger and much more obvious to you by incorporating, for example, volume and understanding the price action of accumulation and distribution. I teach that as well, but the continuation breakout trade is also what would put me into some of those trades where the breakout, and including the one with the dollar yen, they just keep going lower and lower and lower. So that is also available. That's actually the first strategy that I personally developed on my own. And then I learned the Tech One trade, which is available here in this bonus trading strategy module. It is it's called the Pips in the Pocket. There's 3 modules in there. I'm sorry, 3 video lessons. And you get workbooks checklists for all of this. Where necessary, I also include the candle patterns, the specific candle patterns and the settings that you need. Now I also include MT4 templates, so that way each time you want to execute some of these trades, the different strategies, each one of them requires a different template. I give you all of those so you can just upload them into your MT4 account. Now, I mentioned that there's another chart program that allows me to track volume. So for example, you might be wondering, how do you get real volume on a pound dollar chart or something to that effect? A lot of people will use the tick volume with their broker and their MT4 platform, and it's okay, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's better ways to do it. So inside of this first module right here, I give you some additional tools and some chart programs that you can set up. One is a paid service, the other one, which you actually get 30-day trial, so you can use it for 30 days, but the other second service, it's free indefinitely. You can just constantly use that demo and you're going to get the same info, and I teach you how to use it, and I teach you how to use these settings so that you can also track again, volume, supply and demand. I'll show you exactly how to do that. In these advanced techniques, I'm also going to teach you Wyckoff principles. You may not be too familiar with it, but Wyckoff has been around for a long time. Wyckoff, I sometimes make the statement that these are some of the strategies that some of the greatest traders in history have used long before the use of computers. And they understand the mechanics of how and why price moves the way it does. These big campaigns with, you might hear other people refer to it as banks, big money, institutions, hedge funds. It's very interesting once you understand the footprint of smart money or big traders as they step into the market in these different time frames. You can see it on different time frames. I'll teach you step by step how to use that, and that incorporated with the point and figure charts, which you've probably seen on my YouTube channel if you've watched some of the videos there. You'll see that I'm using point and figure to confirm a lot of these trades. So for example, the pound dollar trade from just today when it dropped, and then that one I showed you with the case study, one whole week's worth, and you saw the dollar yen, and it dropped to the downside for about 2 days from Thursday to Friday. Those were actually confirmed not only as HL30s, but I used the point and figure chart to confirm, so I knew without a doubt I was getting into these trades. Point and figure has changed my trading dramatically, and I teach you in every aspect, every angle, how to use point and figure effectively to trade all markets. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you here in just a moment my charts, and I'll show you some of the trades that I help some of my coaching clients get into. Some of these, when I use the word campaign, what we're talking about is big positions or positions that we hold for a while, right? A lot of people want to buy and hold something through the Webull app or the Robinhood app or some kind of opportunity like that, like similar to getting into Bitcoin, right? You might get into Bitcoin today and it bounces around in a $3,000 or $4,000 or 7,000 pip point range for a month, right? And then it breaks out. But how do you know it's going to break out in which direction? Well, point and figure, understanding Wyckoff principles, applying supply and demand, and being able to read the phases of consolidation will help you determine which way it's going to break out in, and you can get in and capitalize on some of these big moves. For example, we shorted Facebook a long time ago. We bought oil back October. So this October, it took 1 full year for it to actually hit our target. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and show you. I'll jump into my chart right now and show you This is one of the first charts I'll show you. This is actually GM. So this is a stock. So the information that I'm going to share with you in the advanced modules, you're going to learn how to size up a chart like this. I talk about Wyckoff principles. Let me go ahead and tighten this up and you can see what I'm talking about. So this is an area of accumulation. And we're waiting for breakouts. We're waiting for certain patterns to develop so that we can get into the trade and we can track and confirm these entries. We've been in this trade. This is a monthly chart, by the way, of GM. We've been in this trade since $31.20. It's sitting up here right today at the close, $58.64. Let me show you another one. This is one of my favorite examples. So this is oil. And this was a trade. I mentioned that we got in it last October. This is a monthly chart, oil. We got into this trade, and you can see right here at this arrow, and we had a first target here at $57. But my initial target, with all of the work that we had done here, using, again, this area of accumulation, identifying this spring down here, and then I used my point and figure, it gave me a target of 85. So it took from October of 2020 to October of 2021 before it actually hit that target of 85, and it's this effective. I have further targets on my point and figure if price continues higher. But we do scale out at specific levels, and I teach you precisely how to do this. Now, these principles can all be applied to Forex. That's one of the things that changed my trading dramatically, was understanding the behavior and the footprint of smart money, how it acquires at the lows, the signature, the volume signature, everything that I need to be able to confirm the behavior and who's trading at specific times, so that I can determine, should I get in when it's moving sideways, or should I wait for another test of support? What is it that's going to happen? And knowing this information lets you know what's going to happen next to the right of the chart. We know where this is going. We know what it's likely to do. Let me show you Facebook real quick. So again, this one was relatively easy. After the fact, of course, everybody looking back at what's going on with Facebook can pretty much understand by looking at a chart why some of this is actually taking place. But again, the technical structure of what we're doing here, I'm using an exercise where I call it counting the waves. So what I'm doing is I'm counting these these up waves and down waves with volume and measuring the activity. And I can tell when price is going to stall and it's topping out here at resistance, instead of actually printing something that looks like a head fake. So very often people would see a breakout, they'd see some more activity with volume stepping back in, and they think, okay, this is it. It's going to go higher. And then they get stuck and it reverses. We didn't go long. We didn't trade this any higher. We knew what it was doing here at this, because again, there's a certain type of activity that smart money executes as they're moving along. They're either going to distribute these shares to get out of the position, and they can only do it at the highs, not the lows. And in the previous chart, you saw how they were acquiring at the lows for this campaign to move price back up. I don't want to overcomplicate it, and I don't want you to lose focus on the fact that we started off with just the Hl30 and the Good Morning London trade. The Hl30, again, if you're struggling and you don't have a trading system that works, all of this stuff that I'm talking about might seem really foreign. Focus on the Hl30. Start making money. I want you to make money now. You can make 400, 500, 600 pips in a single week. I can't guarantee, because every week's going to be different, but you could potentially make that. You can keep that money as a result of just using the Hl30. And then you start learning these other advanced strategies, and you can start trading any market. I use this to trade commodities. I use this to trade oil. I use this to trade stocks. And I confirm all of my trades with Forex. It's the same basic principle. And I have big time frames on the weekly and monthly, using chart setups just like this, using point and figure for the pound dollar, for the euro dollar. I know where price is likely to go, and I can continue to trade it like that comfortably. I update all of my coaching clients with this information. I give them weekly updates and weekly, I call them weekend analysis videos. That's about as simple as I could make it when I first started doing them back in 2007 for the people in my chat room. Now, I want you to know this online trading course is professional grade. I've not only learned how to successfully trade, I learned how to become a successful coach, and I work hard to get you the results that you're counting on and to make your dreams come true. I've sold this coaching program for up to $10,000 prior to creating the 30-day shortcut program. So let's talk a little bit about what you get inside of the Real Deal Traders course. The first thing you're going to get, obviously, is the trading course itself. When I mentioned that I sold it for $10,000, I'll give you a little story about that one, and I'll make it quick. It was a couple of guys that were in my chat room. This was after I started it back in 2007. There were two guys from San Francisco, and you might remember the carry trade. And it was relatively easy to do. And they started a small fund. Back in the day, it was really easy. Before 2010, it was really easy to start a small managed fund. FXCM, all the brokers were letting people, for the most part, start a fund. Well, these two guys from San Francisco opened up a fund. And they really didn't have a whole lot of experience. They just bought, using and understanding those carry trade principles. But when the global financial meltdown started to really unravel, and it was really accelerating, their trades and their positions were going more and more negative. And they didn't know what to do about it. Like, these guys were getting phone calls from their clients screaming and yelling at them in the middle of the night. They were just really, really upset. So they were in my chat room hoping that they could get some of the trades that I was calling out, but they were still executing their own trades at the same time. So it was like, I'm calling out trades that they could make money on. They're taking their own trades. They're just digging a deeper hole, is ultimately what ended up happening. So on a Friday, I'm closing up the chat room. One of the guys says, hey, can we talk to you on the phone? And I said, send me an email. They sent me an email and explained briefly what they were going through. So I got on the phone with them. And the following weekend, they came out and they stayed with me Friday, Saturday, went back on Sunday, and I taught them the trading course. They paid me $10,000 for it. So it does work. It helped them actually turn around their trading. They were so afraid to be able to close out their positions. It was a nightmare. It really was horrible to watch something like that happen. They, as long as everything's working, right, nobody questions it, nobody doubts it, nobody worries. The minute it shifts and changes, then the doubt sets in, and then fear, it just gets worse. So you're going to get the entire Real Deal Traders course. I'm going to teach you everything. Now, this does normally sell for $1,997, but you're not going to have to pay that price right now, and not through, we've experienced this whole thing with COVID. I know a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are making adjustments with working from home. This is going to help you. There's, again, over 75 educational videos, done for you trading plans, worksheets, checklists, and trading manuals. You're going to be making pips and banking profits fast. I promise you. You're also going to get complete access to the Real Deal Traders course private coaching group. You're going to get full support and coaching from me. You'll be able to ask questions and have your trades reviewed and get live personal coaching every Thursday. I talked about this earlier. This is also like a homework session. This is the lifeblood of the system, because you're getting coaching directly from me, and I'm giving you my trade plan that I follow for the week. So you can do exactly what I do. All coaching calls are recorded in case you miss them. They're put inside of that module. Actually, it's module number 13 in that traders course that I showed you just a moment ago. You're also going to have live Q&A, coaching calls. Everything is recorded. All of this takes place at 4:30 Eastern Time every Thursday. You're also going to get the members-only trade updates and suggestions, right? I talked about that a little while ago. It is also included, or what's also included is the weekend analysis update videos. So you're going to get trade updates from me. Every week I share what I see in the markets, and this helps to point you in the right direction. For example, some of those stock picks. I did mention that to my coaching clients and said, if you guys are interested, I know a lot of people are trying to trade from home. There's a lot of stimulus money floating around back in the day, and a lot of them were able to take some of those trades, and they just held for the same amount of time that I did. They did exactly what I did. It is a great opportunity for you to come together and to get really good, valuable information on what's taking place right now at different times. When you see some activity and you hear the news, but it doesn't line up with what you see on the charts, you start getting a little confused. I see it all the time. So here you're going to stay connected and plugged in. I'm going to show you how I use my point and figure, Wyckoff principles, supply and demand, all of that to be able to read and confirm all of your trades, including on Forex. But again, don't get concerned with all of that. Focus in on that 30-day shortcut at first. Now, all of this is available to you the minute you sign up and you get into the course. It's not drip fed to you, so you can skip ahead if you've got the knowledge and the experience. You're also going to get group tools, chart programs, MT4 templates, and trader resources. So you're going to get them all. They're all in a module, including those MT4 templates, which I think are really valuable, because for each technique, each strategy, there's different settings for some of those indicators, and you need to know those. For example, the continuation breakout trade, I trade it on a 1 hour time frame, and I also trade it on a 4 hour, a daily, a weekly. So there's different settings, and there's the same indicators for that particular strategy, but you need to know what settings to set those indicators at. And all of that, all you have to do is just plug it right into your MT4 platform. I do have some videos that will show you exactly how to install it if you've never done anything like that before. It's super easy. You're also going to get the same chart programs that I use, which I showed you in that first module. You can download those. One of them, it gives you a 30-day trial, and then you can pay for it if you want. I've been using that program for, it's an old school program. I've been using it for a long time. I can't even remember. It was like 2004, 2003. And then the other one is always free. Actually, it's the one that you saw. You can either download the demo version or the live version and open up a real account. That was Thinkorswim. You saw those trades with Facebook, oil, and then the GM trade. And I have a lot of them. I mean, there's just so many different trading opportunities. When gold and silver gives me an opportunity, I trade those. It really depends on what's firing and what's going off. I do have a new bonus that I've just added. I'm doing once a month weekend workshops. These weekend workshops are anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. Each one's going to be on a different topic. They're all recorded and then put in the members area. But people who are non-members do have to pay to attend this, and you're going to get free access to it, again, for life. This course includes all workbooks, everything you need, check sheets, homework exercises, lifetime access. You don't pay monthly, you pay one time. Weekly live coaching calls. Again, you get lifetime access to the weekly coaching calls. All calls are recorded and replays are made available to all members. Everything you need to sit down at your computer and to execute your first successful trade. Now, this is normally a total value with everything that I showed you a few minutes ago, $11,333. But I'm making this course available at a super low price, and you won't have to pay anywhere near that price. In fact, this is the lowest price I've ever offered this program. And none of this is theory. All of the charts and the trade examples are real live trades me and my coaching students have taken. And I'm very specific with the training that you're going to be receiving. I will show you exactly what to do. You're not going to be guessing what to do. The Forex Day Trading Academy has been an evolution process since July of 2007. This trading system has helped my personal coaching students earn the following results. I'm going to read to you a couple of testimonials that I received. This one's kind of long, so I'll try to make it quick, but I really love this one. I love them all. You know, it really is important, but when they give me more details about how it impacts their family, I appreciate it. It's what makes me wake up and want to make more videos, more information, more knowledge, figure out how I can make the trading course more easily accessible to people and to make sure that everybody understands it. So I'll go ahead and read this. It reads, Joseph, this message is from my family as much as it is from me. I would like to start off by saying thank you so much for all of your help, and this is from the bottom of my heart. I watched several of your videos on your website before signing up as your student, and you mentioned in many of your videos that most of your students have a lot of trading experience before they find you. I'm one of those guys. I've been trading for 4 years, and as much as I hate to admit it, I have blown up 3 trading accounts. My wife is extremely upset with me the last time I did it, and she made me promise to stop trading because it always ended the same way. Then a few months back, I saw one of your tweets and clicked on the link to your site, and then I watched the first videos that you had there. You then sent me a link to watch a coaching webinar, which is very similar to the one you're watching now, and I watched the whole thing. I haven't seen anything like it. I've tried many signal services and chat rooms, and they don't say the things you say. That's the first thing that stood out to me. I waited a couple of days later, and then I watched a few other short videos of you, and then I decided you were the guy that could really help me this time, but I had to get my wife involved because I didn't trust my judgment. She listened to your video and she said, if this guy is lying, he's got to be the best BS artist because I can even understand what he's saying. She was so impressed, and after 2 more days of talking to her, I convinced her to support me and let me try Forex trading one more time with your guidance. I also appreciate that you took the time to talk to her on Skype too. You really didn't have to do that, but it shows you are willing to help me and shows that you have nothing to hide. Thank you again. Another message, kind of long. I'll make this one quickly. Sorry about that. I've been throwing myself at Forex every way I could for 2 years. I've spent up to 18 hours a day in front of my charts. I've made thousands of trades. I'm passionate about trading. It's not for everyone, but it's for me. I love it and I cannot stop. And I've taken lots of training. So I came to you ready with a certain level of experience and knowledge and commitment, but I was not making any money until 1 month ago, and I'm doing it with your 3 strategies. I've abandoned my swing trades altogether. I just day trade using your strategies. I also want to say that if you were not providing the help, I don't think I'd be having this success. The help makes a big difference. It's very important to me. When I feel nervous about being able to continue to succeed, I take refuge in knowing that you are available to help me. That increases my confidence, and confidence is a big part of my trading success. I think the most important thing is that I'm really trading using your day trading strategies. I'm not using anyone else's strategies. I will never be able to thank you enough, and that's the real truth. Another student sent me a message. She was struggling, and she was spending more than 16 hours a day. I think all of us do that, right? When we get to the point where we still don't understand what we're doing, we tend to just stare at the charts, hoping that something's going to slap us in the face and wake us up and show us what to do. We're desperate. We want help. I remember going through that. It's a horrible experience. But anyway, she went through the same thing, spending more than 16 hours a day, and still wasn't producing consistent results until she started using the same system and the methodologies that I teach in the Real Deal Traders course. This is a true statement. In about 24 hours, she earned 1,200 pips. This was her best day ever. Let me explain. So this was actually back when I had the chat room and I was calling out trades during the global financial meltdown. As the markets were crashing, we would wake up, we would turn on CNBC and we would watch the London session. Then we'd watch the New York session, and I would call out trades, and it was just a wild experience. If you didn't go through it, I'll tell you, it was a really, really interesting experience. My trading course, my trading system and the trading course helped them all get through it. It worked perfectly. The continuation breakout trades set up time after time after time after time on the pound yen, the euro yen, the dollar yen, especially with that carry trade unwinding. That was one of the things that piqued the interest of those 2 gentlemen that came from San Francisco and paid me $10,000 to learn my trading system over the weekend. It was the continuation breakout strategy that they found was actually firing off almost every single day. When we use that continuation breakout trade, that strategy on the pound yen, we earn up to 250 pips. Sometimes we can earn more than that. And during the global financial meltdown, it actually created those. And sometimes we would get 2 or 3 of them in a week. And then 2 or 3 of them would happen on the euro yen. Euro yen, we pick up 150 pips. So you can see with just the pound yen, 3 trades at 250 each is 750 pips. That's almost 1,000 pips. We haven't even talked about the trades on the pound dollar or the euro dollar. So there was one day during this whole mess, 2008, and We're in the chat room and we're waiting for major economic data. We get signals and I'm trading 9 different currency pairs. It was just easy. So I called him out and I said, you don't have to trade all these, guys in the chat room, you don't have to trade them, but I'm going to show you I'm taking these trades and here are my targets. I put everything on the chart. She did everything I did for 24 hours. At the end of it, we earned 1,000, and we're not even double counting. I'm talking about from the entry to that final target, we earned over 1,200 pips. Now, granted, it was because of the environment, right? The environment is so critical to be aware of. It wasn't one of those slow moving days. It was a big day. It was also a big year, right? The markets were melting. Everything, everybody was going crazy. Big, huge moves, big swings. It was amazing. 1,200 pips. Another testimonial from a student. This is an email he sent to me. Really great stuff. Just wanted to drop a line and thank you for the material that you sent me the other day. You really did not have to do that, and I really appreciate it. You are really one of a kind in this business. One of the good guys for sure. The new material really is really fantastic. Last night I traded just one of the setups you showed, and on 3 different currency pairs and made over $2,000. I look forward to taking your trading program. Thanks again. Have a great weekend. Now, this gentleman got on the phone with me before getting into my trading course. He had a few questions. He had been trading for a while, and actually it was on Skype. I'm sorry, no, it wasn't on the phone. It was on Skype, and I showed him the HL30, and he was already going to sign up for the coaching program anyway. So we went through the HL30 like I showed you here today, and he understood what I was doing. So he went ahead after we got off the phone. I didn't tell him to. He did it on his own. But he went, the Skype call, and he went ahead and executed the trade. He saw it, and he understood it. He got it perfectly. So he was able to make $2,000 on 3 HL30s, and they all hit their targets, the final targets there. And he earned $2,000 before he even took his first day in the trading program. It was amazing. It really does work. I helped another student make over 700 pips in a 24-hour period. Now, this took him about 2 months after he started coaching with me. Now, I wanted to explain this one because I think it's important. I get this question every once in a while. How long does it take before I start making money with your trading program, right? You pay for a trading program. You want to know when you're going to get some money out of it. As I mentioned in the beginning, 15 minutes. You get into the 30-day shortcut program, watch that first module. You'll be making money as soon as the next HL30 shows up. 15 minutes. But this gentleman, different situation. He was working 2 jobs. His wife had just had a baby, and they were having construction. They were building another nursery, another room in the house. So with so much going on, he was debating before he got into my coaching program if he should wait or do it now. And his decision was to just buy it now, get into the program. And then he warned me. He told me, he goes, I'm probably not going to be in the chat room. I'm probably not going to be attending, your coaching calls. So, give me some time. I've got a new baby. I'm holding down 2 jobs. I'm paying for this construction in this room. I'm trying to keep my trading account open and funded with enough money so that I can make some money off of this. So he said, just give me a little while and I'll let you know when I'm going to be more active as a student. So it took him about 2 months. Once the construction was done, he had quit one of the jobs, kept the other job, and started trading. And he made 700 pips. So that took him 2 months. Not everybody's going to be in that situation. You'll be able to start right now. Everybody gets access, instant access, as soon as they join and they get into the program. This guy had 2 years prior trading experience. He went through the same thing. He went through the same trading that everybody else I've talked about so far, the same thing that you're going to go through. He has since quit his regular jobs. He doesn't have any jobs anymore. He trades exclusively. That's how he makes his living. Another one. I like this one. This was kind of exciting when he sent it to me. His name is Mild. He actually told me, he says, use my name. I don't care. Tell everybody. This was awesome. So it reads, Joseph, I finally did it. I've been hesitant in executing the breakout trade strategy or technique because of the 55 pip stop loss. Not that 55 pips is a lot, but I executed the plan just like you said to do. The AUD JPY and AUD USD both worked perfectly, and I made 111 pips. This marks the first time I've made over 100 pips in one day, and I owe it all to you. I can never thank you enough. This is his chart. He sent this to me. So this is a continuation breakout trade. I won't go into the details about how it works. You're going to learn how it's relatively easy. It's not as easy, of course, as the HL30, but it's very, very easy. You're going to get the hang of it. I promise you. So this one pays 55 pips. Really easy on the Australian dollar, pound dollar, and dollar yen, and the euro dollar. But when we use this continuation breakout trade on the pound yen, it pays 250 pips. And we still use a 55 pip stop loss. I always use a stop loss, and they're always really small and very affordable. So let me give you a comparison. This doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make this much money, of course, because you've got to have a sizable account to do some of the things that these people are doing. I just want to give you an idea of what is possible and what some of my coaching students are doing. So one of my students started off with $47 in capital when he started trading with me on day one. In the first 30 days, he earned 1,491 pips. And this resulted in $13,389.18 in real cash profit, 28% return his first month out. Not everybody has $47,000. You can do the math and you can kind of adjust things. Again, but not everybody's going to be able to make 1,491 pips for the month. Some people work full time. Some people sleep in. Some people miss some trades. Some people might be sick. Every day is a little bit different, but the market's not going anywhere. And these trading opportunities set up all of the time. These are not fad trade systems or trade strategies or hacks the way you learn on YouTube. And I'm not saying that everybody's doing that on YouTube. I am not. I'm just saying that there's a lot of it. And it makes me kind of sick to see it. It also makes me very, very sad because I know that people are going to be misled. So please be careful. So another student started off with $18,900 in capital. Trading on his first month, he earned 3,459 pips. He earned a profit of $6,295.38. Everybody's going to be using different leverage, different lot size. It's all up to them. Another student started off his very first day, $2,000 in his live account on 3 trades. He earned $2,000 in his live account on 3 trades using what me and my students call, and they actually started it, they started calling it before I did, the easiest Forex day trading strategy ever. I spent about 45 minutes on Skype talking to him. This is the guy that I told you about. I was on Skype the night before he joined the class. That night, I taught him the Hl30, helped him set it up, which is basically his first simple trading plan, and he was off and running and he earned $27,792.84 in the first 30 days using the Hl30. He also used the continuation breakout trade a couple of times. The second month is where it gets really exciting because in all of these examples, the past 3 examples that I just showed you, each one of those students left their profits in their trading account to experience even bigger profits on the second month. They let it grow. Some students will take out their profits. Nothing wrong with that. That's what you're here for, to make profits and to live off of it. Others have the ability to leave the profits in. Some of you may be able to do that. Some of you may not. Maybe you can't do it right now, but you can in the future. Either way, it's all up to you and your goals. We can make this happen for you. This system has a proven track record. It carried me through the global financial meltdown and every other major and minor crisis since I started trading in 2000 or late 2000 and 2001. In case you're wondering how it will possibly work in the future, sometimes people will say, well, maybe it doesn't work later if too many people get this in their hands. Not true. That's not true. If that was true, the things like Wyckoff principles and all of these different ideas of accumulation and distribution would stop working. It is not true. Do not believe that stuff. Yes, some of the little strategies that are hacks probably stop working after a while. But one of my coaching students, we were going back and forth with an email exchange, and he says, I must say that I'm impressed that your trading methods have not changed much in all of these years, and that says a lot about the methods. These are my results and the results of some of my students. My results and their results are not typical and are for illustrative purposes only. Again, I can't say that you're going to make the same amount of money. I don't know how much money you have in your trading account. I don't know how much time you can trade. I'm just giving you some suggestions and some ideas so that you can figure out how much time you have to trade, how much effort you're going to put into it. And this will give you a pretty good idea of what you can expect to get. I am not guaranteeing that you or anyone else will experience the same results because you watch this presentation. Again, please be very careful. The trading strategies that I taught you, please understand there may be some details that you don't fully grasp. So it may not work if you're going to try and execute it correctly the first time. You need to make sure you're doing it right. This trading system requires work, and it's not a hands-free trading system. This is the simplest and the most profitable trading model I have ever seen and used in my 20 years trading experience, and I want to personally help you implement it. But it's not for everybody. This online trading course is about getting you to possibly earn the same number of pips that I do every day. And we continue this until you are fully capable so you can do it on your own. You don't have to do it on your own. You can, like I said, you have lifetime access to the online coaching calls, all of it. With each of my coaching clients, I like to build a lifetime relationship, and this means I will always be in contact with you, and our chemistries and personalities must match. This is a business relationship to take your trading account and profits to a level that very few will get the opportunity to experience. The Real Deal Traders course is for traders who want to trade full time and earn a living from trading Forex. You should have at least some experience and be familiar with the trading platform that you're executing your trades on. Have a general understanding of candlestick patterns and basic indicators. You must be willing to trade your own account. Again, there's no automated trading with this. I can't create an EA that will do this for you. You must be willing to do the work. It can't work for traders, again, who are looking to just take $100 and turn it into $15,000. As soon as you join, you can start right away with my 30-day shortcut program. Starting with the 30-day shortcut program, it's going to help you focus and it'll help you make money fast. But all modules, all lessons, and advanced trading strategies are available to you immediately when you get in. It is not drip fed to you. You'll know exactly what trading strategy to use, so there's no more guessing. You'll know exactly what your profit targets are on every trade you take, no more giving back profits. You'll know exactly where your stop loss placement is on every trade so you can quantify your risk versus reward. So again, what you get in the Real Deal Traders course, of course, the entire course, I'm always adding to it as well. You're going to get all of the updates free for life. You get the checklists, the trading manuals, the worksheets, over 75 educational videos. There's a lot in there. I keep adding more every week. Number two, you're also going to get access to the private coaching group with those calls every Thursday, conducted at 4:30 p.m. Eastern every Thursday. All of the calls are recorded, so if you miss them, they're always going to be inside of the membership area, inside of module number 13. You're also going to get trade updates and suggestions from me. I'm not going to leave you out in the cold. I'm going to point out some of these great opportunities when I find them, and then I'm going to give you a video that will break down all of the details as to why I'm taking that trade, which is everything that you're learning anyway. It'll all make sense to you. You're also going to get group, tools, chart programs, MT4 templates, and all trader resources. Again, with all of the workbooks, checklists, everything is there for you. And the new bonus that I just added, once a month, weekend workshops. We do a 3 to 4 hour. Again, a different topic on each one. You're going to get free access to those for life. Again, this includes all workbooks, checklists, homework exercises. You can download all of these. They're PDF format for a lot of the workbooks. Lifetime access, weekly live coaching calls. They're all recorded. You're going to get everything you need to sit down at your computer and to execute your first successful trade. Again, the total value of everything I've shown you so far is $11,300. You're not going to be paying that. This is the lowest price I've ever offered this program. You can get into this program and take this class, work with me personally, for a one-time investment of $495. This includes everything, including the lifetime access with all bonuses. Now, I'm going to answer some questions, but I'm going to take a drink of water really quick here. I'm going to start off by answering some of the questions that I see have popped up, but they're like almost in every case the same questions that I get, so that's good. And then I'll answer some of the other questions in a moment. The first one is, will this work if I'm in Germany? Yes, I get that question quite a bit. So, will it work no matter where you live in whatever time frame? Yes, of course. The Hl30 is set up at different times. They're not always going to set up at the same time. With that Thinkorswim platform, actually, I can show you how to set up that Thinkorswim platform so that it will give you a notification when you get that specific candle pattern for the Hl30. The London breakout strategy, that's easy. You just got to be there right when the London opens. I do have some coaching clients that are on the East Coast, and they wake up at 3 o'clock or just before, and then they watch the charts. They watch the charts for the first hour after the London opens, and then they take a trade. If one sets up for the Good Morning London breakout strategy, and then they set their take profit levels and they go back to sleep. They just kind of leave it alone. It's that easy. And I showed you today, the pound dollar, it gave us an Hl30 earlier in the day, and then later in the day it gave us the London, the Good Morning London strategy later in the day. So on the pound dollar today, we earned 120 pips just with that one alone. And it really is as easy as getting into the trade, setting your targets, and going back to sleep if you want, or leave the house or go to work, and just monitor it if you can, if you're awake, if it just happens to be at that you're in that time zone. I'm going to take this with my wife. Will she be included? Yeah, you don't need to give me her email or anything or set up a separate account. Just let her have access to it. There's no reason why you can't do that together. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. What do we got here? You don't trade standard lots. I'm assuming you're just saying that you don't trade standard lots, so you can't trade standard lots, but you can certainly trade whatever lot size you're trading now. It's totally flexible. It doesn't matter. I do have coaching clients that start off and they won't even use their real account for the first week. They use a demo account. It's fine. It's okay. There's nothing that I see on my end. I don't have access to your trading accounts at all. The only time I would see any of your trades is if you want somebody to review your trades. I would certainly do that, but you don't have to give me access to your trades. You can just give me a screenshot. Absolutely. And they just kind of give me a detail message on the charts. That's usually how people do it. The other thing that I've been doing for a while now is I use Loom, Loom. It's a Chrome plugin, and you can record your screen. It doesn't cost anything. You can make a 5-minute or less video, and it doesn't even record anything. The file isn't stored on your computer, so it's all web-based. And you can make a recording, so you can show me, hey Joseph, I'm having a problem with this. Can you take a look at it and tell me how to fix it? This is what I keep doing. So then I can hear your voice. You can show it exactly to me, what you're doing. You can show it to me, and then I can review it and give you my analysis. And I can make you a video, send it back to you. We can do this in the middle of the night, or we can certainly schedule something. The guarantee, you're interested in the guarantee, that is the guarantee. So again, if you go to the website, so in just a few minutes, you should have already seen a button below this if it's going to be the recording, but I'm also dropping in the link here in the chat for this webinar. So click the link, it'll take you to the checkout page and you'll be able to read all the details. I have many more testimonials on that page. You can see more videos of more of the trades. I break down in more detail what you're going to be getting and why it's going to help you. So the guarantee is also on the page. It's actually a 1-year guarantee, but there's some specifics. You might want to read the details there, but it's a good guarantee. I mean, it's designed to help you. It's designed to keep you in the program and to really get you the results you want. That's why you're here. You want to pay this money to be able to get that money back. Again, $495 just with the HL30s. Last 4 days, I think we've got 580 pips with HL30s and one Good Morning London trade in the last 4 days. And that would have paid for it even if you're using a mini lot, earning $1 a pip. You would have already made your money back. And that's just in 4 days. And obviously people can do it a lot faster than that. You don't have to do, I know I'm using these basic lot size examples, but any variation, you choose the lot size, whatever's comfortable for you, whatever your trade plan requires. Yes, $495. I know it's cheap. Normally I sell it for $1,999 or $97. I'm sorry. Occasionally I'll throw in some extras. Somebody will want more attention. They'll want more private coaching or something like that. It might be $3,500. It depends. But primarily that's what they're getting is the coaching course for $1,997. You're getting that same coaching course. I'm not holding anything back. You're getting the same thing that they get when they pay almost $2,000 for it, or approximately $2,000, and you're getting it for $495. I won't keep it at this price, but you can get it right now. As long as you're watching this presentation today with me, or if you watch the replay, if it's still available, because I'll take the replay down, obviously, if I've changed the price. I don't want to confuse anybody. Stop loss, great question. So yes, I do use stop loss on all of my trades. What are my stop losses is the question. How big are they? I know you've probably worked with some people that don't use stop losses. I watched a video just 2 days ago. Some new guy that I saw on YouTube thinks he's a Forex genius, and he told everybody, don't use a stop loss. You want to know the key to winning on all your trades? Don't use a stop loss. And I thought, what? I mean, I've seen that, tried that. I did it. I experimented with it in my first year. It's a bad idea. I use a 20 pip stop loss on that HL30 every single time. Don't change it. I use a 55 pip stop loss on the continuation breakout trade. I don't change it. My point and figure charts, it shows me precisely where what's perfect and what's amazing about point and figure. I didn't really show you too many point and figure charts, but you can go to the YouTube channel and watch some of those videos. It's amazing. I can get 70 pips on a move on a day trade on the pound yen. I'm sorry, the pound dollar. I can get 200 pip moves on the pound dollar for a day trade. It happens like in 6 hours or less. 200 pips, like that's amazing. And it happens often. It doesn't happen all the time. Point and figure shows me those trades. These are different than the HL30. So you can really make a lot more money. What we're talking about is just the tip of the iceberg, what I showed you. Seriously. So the stop loss, even with the point and figure charts, it's no more than 55 pips. And if it is, then I just avoid it. I know precisely with my point and figure charts, I'll show you how to use them so that you can calculate your risk to reward. So that you know if you're the kind of person that says, I need 2 for 1 on all my trades, or I need 3 for 1. I don't want 1 for 1, if that's what you think. If that's what you think and you're comfortable with that, that's what your plan is, then good. The point and figure is going to show you exactly how to calculate that. A lot of people can't figure that one out. They put it on their charts and they pick a number or a target, but point and figure shows me precisely where price is going to stop. Watch those videos. It is amazing. It works every single time that you use it correctly. And it's been working like this for over 100 years. Really interesting. One of my mentors, Mr. Weiss, he passed away. I used to hear him tell the story about point and figure. And when he started learning about point and figure, he would say that a lot of these top dog hedge fund guys, like these guys who are running these big managed funds, they don't want everybody to know about point and figure. Like, why bother? Every once in a while, I'll see some knucklehead on YouTube try to talk about point and figure, and I kind of laugh a little bit, and they give you the basics because they're watching another point and figure video, and then they're making a video, so they sound good, and then they try to sell you something, in most cases, or join their Discord or whatever it is that they've got going on. And I'm not saying that all of them don't know. There are some really good places to learn these strategies, but it's really hard because there's so many people throwing these ideas out there. So he used to say that a lot of these guys, a lot of the professionals don't want a lot of the little guys, the retail traders, running around with this information. Like, who cares? Why give it to them? It's a closely guarded secret. It used to be that way. Wyckoff, Mr. Wyckoff, who really talked about these principles, he didn't really want it to be secret. As a matter of fact, I think at one time, and this was back in the 30s, he had over 200,000 subscribers. Imagine having 200,000 subscribers to your newsletter. 1930s. Like, I'm thinking he didn't even have the internet to be able to do social media and post a new offer for it or whatever it is that he's doing. How did he get these people running ads in the newspaper and things like that? It's amazing. He was trying to get it in as many hands, as he possibly could, because he knew the small guy needed this information more than the other guys. I believe the same way. I really believe that you need this information. You need to get it in your hands. I need to make it as easy as possible. This is my life's work. So yes, there's stop loss on everything. I'm going to go ahead and pause here for a moment and take another drink, and then I'm going to get into answering some of the other questions that have been popping up.